Hola everybody, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about public speaking because I love it and I want to help you love it too. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to find public speaking engagements, and I also had some of you over on Instagram submit your industry, so we're going to do a little bit of research together and find 1 to 2 public speaking engagements for you all. As always, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. It lets me know that you like this type of content. Speak your mind in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking and if this was helpful. And of course, if you want to support my channel or want to continue getting notifications around the content that I post, consider subscribing. I'd really, truly appreciate it. The easiest way that I can explain the process of looking for public speaking engagements is sort of like a job search, except it's more fun. At least I think so. The way that I'll break down this video is first we'll talk about my steps for how to find public speaking engagements. And the second half is where we'll actually watch me do the research and find the speaking engagements. I will try to leave the links of the speaking engagements that I find down below. So if you're interested in applying for them and looking into them or joining the networking opportunities and events, they will be linked down in the description along with links to all of my other content. The first thing to do is really to let people know that you are open for public speaking engagements. This is announcing across your social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is that you use. Let people know that you're available for speaking and let them know the types of topics that you are wanting to discuss that you're an expert in. What you're seeing on the screen right now is an example of something that I posted on my Instagram and across a couple different social platforms. This is just one example. This isn't the way that you have to do it. You can do it in video form, but it's a nice way to summarize who you are, what you do, and what you offer. Do this wherever you have an audience that you think can connect you to the industry or to people that are looking for speakers for events. Up next is everyone's favorite, research. You want to do your research by location, demographic, conference type, whether it's a free conference or it's a paid conference, and of course, your own interests. Get yourself in the room where there are people already having conversations about the topics that you want to speak about. These events are awesome because they can serve as networking experiences where you go, meet people, talk to them about your passions, your interests, and the things that you're speaking on, and it's probably one of the easiest ways to get booked as a public speaker. Literally word of mouth. Because you never know who's in the room. The person that you're talking to may be planning an event. You tell them about what you do and how you speak on things, and they might be so interested that they reach out to you then and there. And that's one way to get the engagements. A different way of speaking at events is actually applying to be a speaker at these conferences. So sometimes you'll submit a proposal for a speaker event or to host a panel, which is something that I've done in the past. And you submit, depending on what the application entails, you'll submit either a quick summary of what you do and what your speaking proposal is, or they'll actually ask you to do something a little bit more in depth. So research the conferences that you want to be a part of or that you know are happening in your area or by demographic. Decide how and whether you're able to invest in attending the event, and either as a networking experience or as a speaker. And let me say this right now. Even if you don't think you're qualified, even if you are just a tiny bit doubtful, apply for it. Do it anyway. You never know. Because this is like a job application, the way that I look for jobs sometimes is, okay, what companies are really awesome? What companies do I use often? Do I interact with often? Do I really like? Let me go check out what job openings they have. Same with conferences. Is there a conference that you know in your industry that is really popular in your industry? Think about, what conference do I want to speak at? What platform do I want to speak at? Do I want to speak on? What stages do I want to be a part of? Get crystal clear on those, go to the website, and apply to be a speaker at those conferences. Think about the people that are already in your network and how they might be able to help you. And even think about the folks that are not yet in your network and how to get closer to them so that you can get these opportunities and so that you are a step closer to having the opportunities to speak at different events. And lastly, you want to get really crystal clear about what your messaging is and what your pitch is as a speaker. What topics, and I'm talking exact topics, do you want to speak on? What audiences do you want to reach? What is your purpose? And in this last step, once you have that clear idea of what you truly want to speak on, what your passion is, what your expertise is, write an email, write an outreach email. And in this email, I would include the topics that you speak on, what qualifies you to speak on this topic, any links to other speaking engagements that you've had. It's like a public speaking resume. Start to build that. And if you don't yet have one, think about the transferable skill sets that you do have. It's like when you're applying for a job and you've never really necessarily done that specific job, but you have transferable skill sets. Same thing. At the end of the day, this is a game of research and networking. You have to do the research and you have to do the networking. And today I did the research so that you don't have to. Let's dive into the part of the video where we find public speaking engagements for some of you. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. I'm going to share it right there. The first thing that I wanted to share that I actually didn't share in the first half was that with a lot of events, you can always go to speaker portals. I tend to prefer to go to networking events. I feel like that's how I find most of my public speaking engagements. In fact, most of the public speaking engagements that I have found have been because I went to a networking event and I talked to someone, or someone saw me at a keynote conference and they wanted me to speak at their conference. So networking is really huge when looking for public speaking engagements. But if you're looking for if you're looking to be a part of a speakers portal, you can join things like Speaker Hub. You have to pay to join these memberships. Then I had a couple different people bring up the mental health, or moms and mental health for men. So I wanted to give you something for all of those people. So I went through the process and I thought about, okay, what conferences, what platforms am I already familiar with that are around this area, that talk about this topic. And I follow Latinx Therapy on Instagram, and I went over to their website and they have a couple different things. So I want to walk you through Latinx Parenting Escuelita is what it's called here. And while this isn't necessarily you're not submitting a speaker proposal. They have a lot of their workshops already created. They have a lot of their content and upcoming events already created. This is an amazing opportunity to network and to take a look at some of the offerings that they have and see how you could plug yourself into it. You'll see that I'm navigating through the website right now, and we get to the part of workshops. So they have a couple different workshops again that are already happening. You can decide to attend these, or you can decide to say, okay, these are the types of things that they are offering through Latinx Therapy, through this platform. What can I offer in addition to this? Or can I provide a different perspective? If you can, if your answer is yes, and if you have something that you want to add to this community, you can totally go up to the contact part. And later on in this video, you'll also see some more information about the author, like La Maestra from Latinx Therapy. And I went over to their upcoming events and check those out. If there's something that you can relate to, attend them. Try to see how you can be a part of them. And of course, they have a contact session. So there are opportunities for professional partnerships. You might be able to connect with La Maestra or speaking engagements. I think speaking engagement is more if you want them to be part of your event, but that might be something. If you are hosting an event and you want someone to be a guest speaker, you can reach out to them and form a relationship that way. So for this particular section, it would be a lot of going on Google, doing the research, looking at what events are already out there, who's already talking about the topic that you want to talk about, and how can you insert yourself into the conversation and be a part of it. Another thing that I didn't necessarily mention is you can very much create your own. If you're an expert in your field, put up a workshop event on Eventbrite. Have people register for the event and start gathering information, right? Information of yourself as a speaker so that you can add that to your speaker resume. Another submission that I got was B2B marketing. So I went on Google, I looked up speaking events in B2B marketing. That's literally how I start most of my research. If, again, not through networking, I do it through Google. And there's a ton of stuff for B2B marketing. So as you can see here, I'm going through this, and this is one of the events that came up. Gartner Marketing Symposium, which seems to be a really big one in the space. So I would take a look at that, look at the events that are already happening. Some may be happening in your area. Again, this may not be you are the speaker, but you can network with folks and think about and talk to them about the different types of thought leadership around B2B marketing and how you can insert yourself in it. I also found a list of all of these events happening just all over the place, Chicago, London. So take a look at that. And then up next, I did also switch my search to be speaking opportunities. So when you're Googling, that's something you may want to do is you go from speaking events to speaking opportunities. Just play around with your keywords because this will pop up different things. So these are a couple of the ways, if you are in B2B, that your company can benefit from B2B marketing and having you speak, right? It's PR, public relations. I also saw this link here and decided to click on it, interested in being a marketing profs speaker. I don't know what marketing profs is, but it looks like it's an event for B2B professionals. And they actually have ¿cómo se dice? There he is. They actually have a speaking proposal that you can submit. So I went ahead and pulled that up. I'll link that in the bio below so that you can check it out. And if it's something that fits your needs, please feel free to submit. And yeah, good luck. This is sort of the type of thing that looking for events in your area can bring up. You're not always going to find speaking engagements right away, but again, networking, doing a little bit of digging and putting those research skills to use will really be beneficial in this process. Another one that I got was in the music industry. Again, what I did, speaking opportunities in the music industry, I actually found a link to the Music Business Association, which I think you have to be a part of. But if you are part of a school, part of already in the industry, I think there's some ways for you to get special membership access. So this is a list of all of the events that I found in the music industry. Some may be more relevant to you, some may not. I'm not too familiar with the music industry, so you might be able to tell me best. But I was going through each one of these, and as you can see here, I actually found a virtual metadata summit. And I decided to click on it because the submission was on music industry / data analysis. So I wanted to click on it so that we could check it out together. Again, I'm not sure if this is something that fits your needs, but this is one really good way of looking into it. This summit data obviously is for 2021, but take a look at when these events are happening again this year or in future years. I would say the best time to apply to be a speaker is probably at least a year in advance. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes speakers are chosen right away because you form the agenda around them and around the things that they're talking about. So it's a lot smarter, probably more efficient to start your job. I'm sorry, well, kind of, to start your public speaking engagement proposals, submitting those well in advance. I submitted, for example, a proposal to be a host for a panel at a conference probably about 7 months before it actually was happening because they need time to plan and execute on everything. So this is what I found. It looks like you need a membership for this type of stuff, but if this was something that you were interested in, I would definitely check it out. Things that you can do here, sign up for as many things as you can. Email communications from them. If there are things that you can sign up for free, sign up for those so that you get notified every time that there's a new event happening or a new music insights data report dropping. Those can be really helpful, and within those, you can find incredible opportunities. Sometimes when they send those emails, there's like, hey, there's an event happening. In fact, that's been how I find a lot of networking events and boot camps and things to go to that I then get speaking opportunities from. And the very last one, again, there were so many submissions, so I tried to choose some that kind of fell in the similar category or that I had the most submissions for. The next one is functional medicine. Ay, se me está durmiendo el pie. Very similar. I looked up functional medicine speaking opportunities on Google. I always start on Google. This specifically, you may know your industry a little bit more than I do. So you may know what websites to look for, all these things. But because I'm not familiar with the industries, I go on Google. That's where I start first. I found integrative healthcare symposium. I don't know if this is something that's up your interest, up your alley, like in the realm of your interests, but it looks like they have a symposium happening in 2024. I tried to do a little bit of digging to see if there were any actual submissions for speaking opportunities, but I didn't find too many. There is a way, though, however, to contact them and just be a part of the, either as an exhibitor or as an attendee. So again, I would go back to going to events and networking as much as you can, or creating your own type of workshops, putting yourself out there as a speaker. Look at the different ways that you can be involved, right? This one in particular had an advisory board. What does it take to be a part of that advisory board? Is there another email list that you can join? Take a look at the different ways that you can be involved beyond being a speaker, because those involvements may actually be the key to getting speaking engagements. And that's the research that we did for some of the submissions. Thank you so much for submitting. I hope that it was somehow helpful. I know that I didn't get to all of the submissions that I got, but if you notice the patterns here, I really do go on Google because, again, I'm not as familiar with the industry, but you know your industry really well. You know what conferences people go to. You know all of these things. So it really is, at the end of the day, it comes down to you positioning yourself as a strong thought leader in the space and providing reasons for people to want to have you at their event. Speaking about it often, letting people know that you're available to speak, and getting your foot in the door. Network. You, again, like I said, you can join portals for speakers, but networking, to me at least, this is my opinion, is one of the best ways to get speaking engagements and to make them really impactful. When there's a human connection and a one-on-one connection, it tends to be a lot more fruitful. Good luck with your public speaking journey. I'm so excited for you, and I cannot wait for you to start booking and getting paid to speak. And that was today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something, and hopefully some of you will be able to book some of these public speaking engagements. Remember to lets me know that you like this type of content. Speak your mind in the comments. Let me know if you end up applying to any of these speaking gigs. And of course, if you would like to support my channel, please consider subscribing. I'd really, truly appreciate it. I appreciate the time that you took today to get one step closer to loving the art of public speaking. Adios, everybody.